Then we go to the spikes and the seeds.
So all of these leaf diseases, to me, as a weed breeder in my nursery, I do not find it easy to distinguish among them very easily. But as a pathologist, you can characterize them quite confidently.
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Yeah.
I know breeders don't look at diseases, they look at healthy tissue.
Yeah.
So they score entries according to the percentage of green tissue, not necessarily disease. There are a number of diseases on the spikes and the seeds. First one being common bunt, also called stinking smut. You can quite clearly identify the infection early on, and later on you get these bunt balls, and it's got a terrible smell. Those of you that have encountered a common bunt in your lifetime somewhere. Next one, Gordon. And there's a picture from APS where you can see the spore cloud or the smut spores. And especially the common bunt one, it stays in the soil for a number of years, so it's difficult to control, as opposed to loose mud, which is slightly different.
But easily cleaned up in a seed lot.
Easily cleaned up by seed treatment, systemic seed treatments, yeah. I think Vitavax, oxycarboxyn I think it's the first systemic fungicide developed in the 60s.
Yeah.
And it's still being used. There are others as well, but it's still being used, I think, extensively. And loose mud, I'm pretty sure you all recognize, infects during anthesis, and it will only be expressed the next season when that seed is sown again. Canal bunt, interesting disease. Not much damage in terms of loss. It's also smelly, but it's a cosmetic disease, and it's used as a trade barrier in many instances, I think.
We had one line which was susceptible to canal bunt. So we had 13% infection in the seed lot, and that was rejected. So we lost a lot of money. So economically, it's very important. We could not sell the seed.
Yeah.
As seed or as grain?
As seed.
Yeah.
As seed. As grain or poultry feed, one could sell that. But as seed, we could not sell it.
And what was the threshold of damage?
It was only 10% to 13% seed infected.
Okay.
But the quantity was 1,500 quintals. And it was a tremendous loss to us because the quality lab rejected the lot.
Yeah.
In South Africa, it was found 15 years ago in a particular area. And then when they realized that they've been harvesting all the grain and put it into silos, and they had 50,000 tons of infected wheat. And then the entire area was put under quarantine by the Department of Agriculture. And we never got to hear how they managed 50,000 to get rid of it. What did they do with it? Did they just feed it into the system? I don't know. How do you destroy 50,000 tons of wheat? It's fairly difficult.
Animal feed, maybe?
It became very common when in Rajasthan, which happens to be a very dry province, they started to use sprinkler irrigation. So at the time of anthesis, flowering, the irrigation was provided, overhead irrigation by sprinkler irrigation.
Same here.
That brought on the disease.
Yeah, same with us. And then you can spray fungicides just before anthesis. That'll also reduce it. But it's a difficult one to get rid of.
But they say this chemical is not effective against canal bunt. No chemical has been fungistatic chemicals are there.
They help.
Like tilt.
Yeah, I know, tilt was sprayed, yeah.
Fungicides are not.
Next one, well-known disease, Fusarium head blight, FHB. I'm pretty sure you all know this one. You get these bleached effects, areas on the spike. In some cases, the rachis gets infected, and then it'll kill off the entire, or the peduncle, it'll kill off the entire head. Especially severe where you rotate maize and wheat during the same year under irrigation, like in our country. And there's just a picture of a selective medium for Fusarium where you can put your kernels on, and when you get these nice fluffy colonies, you know pretty well what you're working with. Another disease that I've personally never seen or worked with, blast, Magnaporta oryzae. It's the same organism that causes blast of rice, but like the rusts, there's a wheat attacking group and a rice attacking group. So whether that now qualifies it as a different species, I don't know. But anyway, very similar to what the Fusarium head blight looks like. So I think if you have this in your fields, you must have a trained eye and know what you're working with.
But Fusarium head blight sometimes shows the pink color.
It does, yeah. If you open
This shows
the glooms,
this one.
it does not, yeah. Then, of course, this is non-pathogenic. And you know the gene link to this, I suppose? Pseudo black chaff, SR2. It's not expressed in all environments. In some cases you can see it, in some cases not. And it also gives the discoloration of the stems, particularly below the first or the last internode. Yeah. Very typical and quite easy to select for.
Non-pathogenic, but farmers may think it's pathogenic.
Yeah.
Because it's pseudo black chaff. So the real black chaff is caused by bacteria,
Right.
Yeah.
and this one is pseudo.
You can't call this black chaff because it's not a chaff. Black sheath.
But, so our project funded Ruth Wanyera in Kenya because Kenya farmers would see this and think it's a disease. So there is some information that has to go out to some farmers anyway, at least in Kenya, that this is not a problem. This is the result of genetic protection for stem rust.
Yeah.
But if you have if the customer is always right,
Black point, we see this quite often, I think, in many seed lots, and it's still, there's sometimes confusion whether it's fungal induced or whether it's environment or a combination of the two.